How you doing? Can you see inside my head? Can you hear the song that's playing in my big head? It's a song called My Lighthouse. And the words are, my lighthouse, shining in the darkness, I will follow you. It's a song that they sing at the church I go to with Robin. The pastor is Pastor Jeff. He's a musician. He's got a band called the Praise Band, and they played this song a lot. So a few years ago, Robin and I went to New Jersey to an art event, a plein air art event, where we sat on the beach and painted, which was kind of fun. But anyway, there's a lighthouse there called Barnegat Lighthouse. Barnegat, think. So today, I'm going to show you how I painted it. How I painted my lighthouse. One of them anyway. There's another one I call mine. It's called the St. Augustine Lighthouse. But this one is Barnegat, and they all have their own unique paint job or design or shape. There's always something about them so the sailors know where to go. But I'm not going to share with you how to follow a lighthouse or find a lighthouse, because I don't know. I'm just going to show you how I painted this one right here. And if you can see inside my head or hear inside my head, you hear that song, my lighthouse, shining in the darkness, I will follow you, ooh, or something. All right, let's go. Sorry about that. Okay, good morning. And today I'm using a straight edge, also known as a ruler, as you know, because we have a lighthouse to paint. So let's just create that first. I'm just gonna put that there. See if I can make it a little bit. Let me see if I can do this kind of freehand with a ruler with a straight edge. Okay, it's not wide enough at the bottom. A little bit wider. We'll go from there. Let's see. That looks like it's almost right. There we go. That's good enough. That's good enough. And it will have some trees here. We have this part up here. It comes around like this. Little top area where I guess you could stand. I never went up into this one. I went up into the lighthouse in St. Augustine. And this one is in, as you know, Long Beach Island, New Jersey. So, pick a little bit, let me move this down a little bit. Instead of moving that up, just gonna move this, make this area a little bit longer. Yeah, it looks more like it. And then of course there's the shadow under there. And the lighthouse changes color right about that point. Changes from red to white. They say that all lighthouses are painted differently so that the sailors know where they are based on the colors and the design. So that's what I wanted to do. Yeah, so this is in New Jersey at a place called Long Beach Island. And Robin and I went there a few years ago. There was a call for artists to participate in a plein air painting event. I don't know what you call it, an event, I guess. And so we went and we sat on Well, we sit on the south end of the island and the north end of the island. The north end of the island is where the lighthouse is. All right, so let's just let me start with the sky. We don't need the ruler anymore, or the pencil, or the eraser. So we went to the north end of the island, and that's where Barnegat Lighthouse is. That's this lighthouse right here. And it was a very interesting experience. We didn't get to go in it because at that time the lighthouse was not under construction, but under rehabilitation or whatever. They had scaffolding all around it, and so it wasn't open to go into. But so this is from a different time. The photographs we took had scaffolding all around it. Yeah. All right, I'm purposely going to make this a bit on the wet side just to create a nice sky. So we went there and we painted plein air on the south shore, the south end, I should say, of the island, which was on the shore. It's a very touristy place, Long Beach Island, New Jersey. And we stayed in a campground, not on the island, but near the island. It was called Sea Pirate. Sea Pirate Campground. And it was really a nice campground. It was obviously, I'm going to say it was made for kids, but that's not really true. But there were a lot of kids there and a lot of kids' activities there. And that's fine with me. I love kids. I love hearing them play. I love, watching them ride their bicycles. We had a little cabin there. And yes, I know that's glamping and not camping, but that's what we did. All right, let's get some of that blue in there. Try to make this a cloudy day, but a sunny but cloudy day. Okay, try to do that. Let it go up into the back of the card. So the lighthouse in St. Augustine is the one we climbed up, and it was interesting. You know how they say when you take a photograph, if you have orbs in your photograph, that means you captured the essence of a spirit or something like that? Well, it happened in that St. Augustine Lighthouse. It really did. I am not making it up. And I wouldn't tell you it was there if it wasn't there. And I'm not telling you that it was ghosts or spirits. I'm not telling you that. I'm just telling you it was orbs. And that could just be refraction of light or whatever. But it was there for sure. So, anyway, it was a beautiful view from the top. From the top of the lighthouse, you could see so far. And you can see that lighthouse from far away, too. There's another lighthouse we went to. In fact, the debit card I used from my bank has the painting I did of the one in, oh gosh, I think it's called Ponce Inlet, I think, where I painted that one. And that one had a beach that was beautiful, had a place where dogs could go, and I had a dog at that time. We took the dog out to the beach, and she loved it. Oh my God. Now, I'm very, very cautious. I was when I had my dog. I was very cautious with her. I always was cautious. I didn't want her to run away or to get in trouble. She was a beautiful little pit bull mix, and she, oh my gosh, she loved me, and she was unconditional love. You know how a dog is, right? But I didn't want her to get hurt. But this place had the way the water would pool, would create these little tiny, like miniature lakes of water, and the dog loved them. And I wasn't worried about her running away because you couldn't. There was no place you could go. Yeah, we'll keep that for the sky right now. Just a real simple wash of a sky. I might add some more color to it later on. I think I'll let that dry before we do the lighthouse. Let's go ahead and add some of the beach, some of the sandy area. Another thing about this place, now I'm switching back to New Jersey. In the beach by the lighthouse, which was Barnegat Lighthouse, in the beach there, we saw seagulls that were eating crabs. They would grab the crabs out of the rocks that were in the surf, and they would smash them open. They would just smash them and eat them, just like animals do. They eat other animals, and these seagulls were ruthless. Those crabs didn't stand a chance. So that was interesting too, and we sat there for a while and watched them. We took pictures of them and video of them, and we participated in a competition with the plein air paintings. I should maybe see if I can find them. If you're looking at them on the screen, that means I found them. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find them or not. I'll have to put it after the fact. Anyway, so we entered the competition, and all the other artists who were there were part of it. And it was just a wonderful experience to be part of that little event up in Long Beach Island. It was a nice trip for us. We took the auto train from Florida to Lorton, Virginia. I know. I didn't know what that was going to be like. In fact, we didn't even know if you sit in your car while the train is moving or if you sit in a train. Well, the answer is you sit in a train. You don't sit in your own car, but we didn't know when we first started doing it. So we took the train about 900 miles, and then the car. Then you get off the train, and they take your car off the train, and you get back in your own car, and you do the rest of the driving yourself. I had never done that before. I'd heard about it, and I went all the way from Florida, a town called Sanford, near Orlando, which is not too far from here. And we got on that train, and we rode it all the way up to Lorton, Virginia, which is just south of Washington, D.C. I can't do much until that dries up there. And then we got the train. The train ride was wonderful, and it's nonstop too, by the way. It's not like when you do regular Amtrak. There's lots of stops along the way, but on the auto train they don't stop. It just goes from one spot to the other, the whole ride, 900 miles. And it was great. It was a great experience. Then we drove up to Long Beach Island. We got the campsite of Sea Pirate Campground. And then we went to Long Beach Island to do the plein air painting. And then 2 months later, that's right, it wasn't all one trip. That's right. Yeah, that's right. I forgot it was that way. Huh. Did we do the auto train twice? I'm drawing a blank on that. But anyway, we went up a couple of months later for the actual show, for the actual art show. And like I started to say, we met a lot of nice, very super talented artists, so good at what they do. And the only thing I didn't like about it is that it was a competition. And it doesn't matter if you win or not. I'm not keen on competitions for art. It's not a sport. It's impossible to truly say one piece of art is better than another. That goes against everything that art is about. So I don't really like that, but some people like that kind of thing. Some people like to get the ribbons and the accolades and all that. So anyway, this little area here that I'm painting, all these trees, there was a lot of trails in there, and boy, that was fun too, walking those trails. Still not dry enough. I gotta wait for that to be dry, otherwise that lighthouse is gonna spread all over the place. The spreading lighthouse. I have a song lyric that I want to read to you. Maybe I can do that while this is drying. Just kind of make a few areas here at the bottom where it might be more interesting to take a walk in the woods. Let's see. Just a couple areas here, and I'll come back with some of this yellow ochre. And there we go. And we'll have to come back to this anyway after we get the sky finished. Okay, so I have the lyric to a song. It's called My Lighthouse. It's a very uplifting song. This is a song that they sing in church. I'm going to read the words to you. Yeah, that looks all right. What do you think about that for the line of trees? See, this is really the beach down here. And there's the lighthouse, and there's the sky. And let's let it dry. And get the brush a little bit washed out so it doesn't get stiff. So here's the words to the song. It's called My Lighthouse. The band that I heard it from is called Rend Collective. And the songwriters are Chris Llewellyn and Gareth Gilkison, and I hope that that's correct. I got it off of the internet. And the song says, in my wrestling and in my doubts, in my failures, you won't walk out. Your great love will lead me through. You are the peace in my troubled sea. Oh, you are the peace in my troubled sea. Isn't that nice? Think about it. A lighthouse is, in the real world, a lighthouse is the guidance, the thing that helps you to a safe place. The next verse says, in the silence you won't let go. In the questions your truth will hold. Your great love will lead me through. You are the peace in my troubled sea. Oh, you are the peace in my troubled sea. And the chorus says, my lighthouse, shining in the darkness, I will follow you. My lighthouse, oh, I will trust the promise. You will carry me safe to shore. Safe to shore. I won't fear what tomorrow brings. With each morning I'll rise and sing. My God's love will lead me through. You are the peace in my troubled sea. You are my light, my lighthouse, shining in the darkness. I will follow you. My lighthouse, I will trust the promise. You will carry me safe to shore. Oh, safe to shore. Isn't that wonderful? That's a positive one. That is such a positive, and may I say powerful, message right there. All right, I think it's dry. I think we can do it now. Let's take this wine red and get the top part painted. Is that a good red? No. I'll use some gouache. There it is. There's a nicer red. So I went over to the gouache. It was a little bit more red. I think the red in the Winsor Newton Cotman pan is a little bit on the red wine side. So what I want to do is get the whole thing painted, and then I'll do the shadow side, which is the right side. So I'll just drag all of this over. It's kind of an easy thing to paint, a lighthouse. I think the key to getting it right is the shadow, probably. So I'll go ahead and get this part painted in there, just real carefully. There we go. Now the bottom is white, so I'm not going to paint it except for the shadow. And the top part, I made a mistake. What I should have done was I should have added blue behind the clear part. So let me do that right now, because that is a clear part. You do see the sky through there. Just gently pull it away, the parts that I don't like. And there's a spot right here too that I want to fix. There we go. Make a little more blue there. There's a motorcycle. It's 6:25 in the morning. That guy goes to work early. Huh? He must be an early worker. Kind of like me. I'm an early worker. There we go. Yeah, I like that song. Now it's in my head. I don't know if you've ever heard it or not, but like I say, they sing it in church. The pastor at our church is a musician, and he's really good. And he puts this band, he has this band that he plays with, and they're all so humble and just very talented. Try to make some semblance of clouds here. You just puff this around a little bit. Every state is so different when you travel around in this country. I hadn't spent a whole lot of time in New Jersey in my younger years, but recently I've been there more, and I like it. It's a nice, beautiful state. Because I grew up in New York City, or just outside of New York City, on the New York side. What I mean by that is of the Hudson. Because the Hudson is what separates New Jersey from New York, if you don't know. If you're like in Australia or someplace. I know some of you are elsewhere in the world. But you go across the river to New Jersey for very few things when you live in New York. There's very few things to go over there for. So, especially when you're young, you know, what do you go for when you're young? I went for a game room, and there's a whole story there too. Yeah, just a little bit like that. I wonder if I can take some dark blue and add some texture to these clouds. Yeah, it's working. Can you imagine being a sailor back in the days when you really didn't have the navigation equipment that we have today? And you had to use that thing called the sextant, and you had to depend on lighthouses, and you had to depend on the stars, which is what the sextant did, right? Just can you imagine what that was like? And then, you know, navigating in the daytime, you don't have those stars. So I know there's an explanation for it, and some of you are probably very knowledgeable about it. For me, it's just a curiosity. I think I'm purposely trying to make this a more exciting looking sky, just to make it a better composition. I hear the morning dove outside. I don't know if you can hear it or not. Usually there's two of them. Sometimes you see three of them. They like to go to the bird bath in our backyard. All right, we're getting there. We're getting there. I'm not going to worry about this guy too much, but I feel like I am worried about it a little too much. All right, let's take that. Now we're going to take that red and make a darker edge here. Make the edge of the lighthouse have a shadow on it. It's a little bit bleeding in now. I should have waited till it dried. Okay, that was not smart. Now I'm going to take the violet, the purple. I'm going to use this for the bottom part. The shadow on the right side of the white part. Just take a little bit of it. Oh, now I hear the crows out there. Can you hear them? Every once in a while I'll hear an owl. I'm just going to bring some of this shadow, some of this purple up here. See how it works. And bring some down here. That shadow right there. And it should curve around a little bit, I think. Then we'll have a mid-tone once that dries. Actually, let me spread it out now, then I'll add another layer to it. Spread it out. It's a little bit darker, I think. Let me try some blue down here. That blue seems to be helping a lot too. It's always an experiment for me. I'm always experimenting with the art. Never know. Sometimes a color works, and sometimes it doesn't. Like in yesterday's picture, the one with the car coming from down the highway. Gosh, I really wasn't happy with that picture. I really wasn't. But that was my promise when I started this channel, that I wasn't going to be the guy who only showed you the good stuff. I wanted to show you the stuff I didn't like as much as the stuff I do like. I think every one of these lighthouses has a story, which is interesting. This particular one has a story of a man, and I don't know the story, so I shouldn't be telling it to you now because I don't know it. But the story, the man is memorialized, I guess you would say, in the statue. There's a statue on the ground near the lighthouse, with a plaque that tells the story of the man, the lighthouse keeper. Same thing with the one at St. Augustine. There's a story. I don't know if they have a statue or not, but there's a story for sure. Trying to make these shadows very obvious. It's very stark as the light comes across. It comes over here. Now there should be a little bit of backlighting on here too, so maybe I can do that with some white gouache. Just to make it more interesting and keep the continuity going here, I'm going to add some of that violet, some of that purple to some of these trees down here. Just let it play a role in the greenery underneath it as well as in the lighthouse itself. Give a little bit of continuity to the composition, if that makes sense. A little continuity. All right, now I'm going to use a pen. I'm going to use ink. What do you think about that? What do you think? I'm going to use ink. I'm going to use ink right now because I can't think of another way to do the top of the lighthouse. Make sure it's dry. Now it's got like a cage up there. Can you see what I'm doing? Hope my big hand's not in the way too much. I'm just trying to create this underside of this cap here. We have these little lines that come down. They go around. And there's some areas underneath this too that have just an underside of that area where you can stand. And then there's a little line here, like a little ridge. And it looks like there's a window here, probably on the way up the stairs. There's a window over here. And I think that's it. So that really helped. That really helped it a lot, using that pen. And I'm not sure if I want to consider it done. I'm just still wanting to mess with the sky a little bit. Yeah, let me add a little bit of that purple. It's kind of a necessary thing. When I added purple to the lighthouse, it was odd because there was no purple elsewhere in the picture. So I'll just create some dark clouds using the purple. Just a little bit of shadow to the clouds. All right. Well, there's Barnegat Lighthouse, done in watercolor and a little bit of gouache and some pen and ink. There we go. Well, what do you think? It's my lighthouse. My lighthouse. What does the song say? Shining in the darkness, I will follow you. My lighthouse. I think I can fold it. It looks dry enough. Now, can you see how this would bring somebody some joy? Oops, can you see it? This probably would be a great card to give to somebody who needed a little pick-me-up, especially because of the words of the song. My lighthouse. I'm going to add a little more purple to the underside here, the shadow. And also to the top. Some shadow over there. There. There we have our lit lighthouse. Our lighthouse in the sun. And there's one thing I should do. It's that pencil mark right there. It's going to bother me if I don't get rid of it. Just a little bit. Keep that white right there. From the card. All right. Well, there's our lighthouse in watercolor. Can you see it? I keep holding it elsewhere. There's our lighthouse. All right. I'll talk to you later. Thank you for watching, for subscribing, and for all your nice comments. Bye.